Hi, my name's Lynette Anderson and I'm talking to you again from Queensland in Australia, but I'm here to talk to you about month 5 of the Quilt Show's Block of the Month, My Country House. And this month you're going to be working on Mr. Foxy. Now Mr. Foxy has lots of very small, tiny curved bits like for his feet, under his tail, and I've had a lot of emails from you all about the puppy dog tail and how do you do it. Well, I'm going to do it with the applique paper, the magical stuff that stays in your work, but it gives you a form, if you like, to follow as you turn your fabrics. So the applique paper is water soluble, it's paper based, it's fusible. The shiny side is the fusible side. Whoops. And what we're going to do is we're going to place the applique paper on top of the design in your pattern, and we're going to trace Mr. Fox out. Now you need to be careful when you trace him that you get nice smooth lines. Once you've done that, now I've drawn mine on the shiny side because that will then automatically reverse the drawing for you. If you have drawings that are already reversed, then you just draw on the paper side. Nice and easy. Once you've done that, you're going to cut it out on the line and you're going to fuse it to the wrong side of your chosen fabric. I'm working with one of the grey prints from my Hearts and Flowers collection because I kind of felt the little hearts suited the fox. I'm going to cut out now, giving myself a seam allowance somewhere between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. Now you can't go too small. It's tempting with the small pieces, but I can tell you you'll just end up with a nasty frayed mess. So we're just going to cut very carefully, remembering that it doesn't have to be perfect because the paper shape is what's going to give you your perfect shape. Approximately between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch, or as I always tell my ladies, not too much and not too little. Can you see that? Now if it's got a curve that goes in, you need to clip it. So this time you're going to clip to the paper. In the past I used to say clip to the line. Now we're actually clipping to the paper. Nice short sharp clips. Try and keep them straight underneath his arm or his leg, I suppose. He's a fox. And certainly along his back leg you definitely need to do some clipping. So if it's a curve that goes in, you're going to clip to the line. If it's a curve that goes out, leave it alone, because if you do clip it you'll end up with nasty little pointy bits and you'll know exactly why you should not have done that. So keep clipping. Now these, I'm working with the perfect scissors today, and as you can see they cut right to the point, and so I find them absolutely ideal for this work. They come in a couple of different sizes, so if big scissors aren't your thing, the smaller ones might suit you perfectly. There's a bit of a curve along the top of his back, and there's definitely a curve in that bit of his ear, so we're going to just clip to the paper, and I think that's probably about it. So I'm going to work on my black applique mat, and remembering that we're using a glue pen. Now there's lots of different glue pens on the market. They're all much the same, they're just different brands. I'm going to be working with my Applique tools, remembering they're made from steel, so they're quite heavy. You have 2 tools. One has that fork, it's your holding tool. This one has a flat edge, it's your turning tool. Now I'm right-handed, so I'm going to hold my holding tool in my left hand. It needs to be held relatively upright, and you don't really need to press on it. It is literally the weight of it will keep the shapes down. Your turning tool is the one that we're going to roll the edge of the fabric over the paper. Now you need a glue pen. They're fabric glue, they're water soluble also. There's lots of different brands on the market. Now you can see I've gone ahead and put some glue onto my fox's leg. I like to have some glue on my fabric and on my paper. It seems to make it all stick down. So we're going to hold the holding tool relatively close to where we're going to be working. The flat edge of the tool is going to slide underneath the fabric, and I'm going to just roll it over the edge of the paper as I go. Okay, well that bit was easy. Now we're going to work on his foot, and this is where I want you to pay attention to what I'm actually doing. We're going to hold the tool close to where we're working, and this tool we're literally just going to work with the tip of our tool, and as I do that I'm slightly gathering the fabric, and I'm going to turn my shape as I work. I'm gathering the fabric onto and squashing it into the glue as I go. Now you'll notice too that I'm only putting glue a little bit ahead of where I'm working, and that's because the glue does actually dry into the paper relatively quickly, and we don't want it to do that. So holding your tool upright, and you're doing a rolling action. Just see how easy that is. Now here we've got to a big clip on his under his arm, as I called it earlier. It's just turned beautifully too. Now sometimes doing it the traditional way, a little area like that could actually be quite difficult. Don't be mean with your glue. Put plenty on, and we're just doing that rolling action. And I'm just going to keep going because I want to show you the leg again in case you missed it the first time. So we're just going to keep working ahead, rolling that over the edge into the glue as we go. And here we are at another section that I've clipped, and you can see how each little bit you can flip over the edge as you get there. Now if say you did something you didn't like, whilst the glue is wet, you can lift that piece up. I'm sorry to say, once the glue has dried, you're better off starting again, because it seems once you start to try and pull it off the paper, it actually shreds the paper to pieces. So holding your tool, turning it over. Now we've got to that little corner section again. I'm going to make sure I've got plenty of glue there. And remembering, we're just going to work with the tip of the tool, and we're going to just slightly gather, if you like, the fabric onto the end of his foot as we go. And it's quite important that you do have a decent amount of glue on there, or it just won't stick. There. Bit more of glue. And we're almost done on that tricky little bit of leg. Now, I would, once you've done the entire shape, just go back and check everything. Make sure you're happy with it. Give it a really good press with a hot iron on the wrong side. So hot iron. And the gorgeous thing about these little black mats is nothing slips on them, but you can lightly press on them as well. And then we're going to turn them over, and you can see I've got a lovely smooth curve, and some cat hairs, a lovely smooth curve here on his feet, just by doing that gathering action. So just remember, you're just going to work with the tip of the tool. Okay? Well, thanks for joining me today on tips on how to get those tiny little legs, feet and tails, the little curves done tightly using the applique paper, the Applique tools and a mat. Now I know you're going to ask me, what is the quilt behind me? This is called Change of Heart. It's a very simple little quilt design, and I've had a lot of fun doing some crazy patch hearts with it. Again, I've used my fabric collection, Hearts and Flowers, which is the reds and greys, and I've mixed it with some bread and butter creams. I hope you like it. Thank you.